Somebody asked you, they're like, is it going to get easier? Like I got 40,000 people on my social media now. Like, when's it going to get easier? So tell me what you think about hard work and kind of address that question that people sometimes ask.
Yeah. I mean, to put context around that question, I'll never forget it because it was like a light bulb went off and I was like, oh, there's this misnomer specifically in the social media stratosphere that like the more followers you get or the more perceived success you receive, the easier it will become. And I feel like I want to be a champion of the complete opposite of that. Because if that's what we're leading people to believe, we're going to be perpetually dissatisfied and unfulfilled because we think that by getting X, it will fulfill us on a level now. But if you are not fulfilled with what you have now, you will not be fulfilled with what you want in the future. We have to find fulfillment and joy in what we're doing, period. The fact that we get to make more money or the fact that we get more followers as a result will not be the linchpin to our happiness. And so people say, if I get then all of a sudden I could just take a step back and breathe. And I'm like, no, baby boo, what got us here is not going to take us to our next level. I don't believe in like this massive notion of passive income. I do believe there's easier revenue streams of income, but like everything takes work. And the more you get, the more you will work. Now, I do not believe, I am not a proponent of hustle your face off because you just got to hustle your face off. No, but I'm also saying straight, quite honestly, like the more successful my business has become, the more I am working. However, I've never been happier. Like I love what I do. And as a result of working more and as a result of being more successful, I'm okay with that. And I just always want to be like 100.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think what you're saying is spot on. I mean, the work just increases, but it increases because I believe that progress equals happiness. So that's what drives me to continue to, because you probably don't know a lot about my story, but at 21, I got into business. By 28, I was completely financially independent. So I've been semi-retired for 15 plus years. And that was a choice though. But what I realized is that the reason why I really never stopped working is because anytime I really stopped working for any length of time, it wasn't happy. It wasn't fulfilling for me. So I actually love the work, but I just love the fact that I have built passive residual income to be able to fund any lifestyle that I want to be able to live, So again, but I've always kept my foot in there as far as the work, because I really believe it's the work that makes you happy. It's the changing people's lives. It's the doing something good for somebody else, helping somebody that might need help, giving advice, things like that really make you happy, I think. What do you think about that?
I couldn't agree more. It's like progress is a barometer of our purpose. And the more you progress, the more you find your purpose. And oftentimes the conversation that the next question that might be floating in the air is, well, how do I find my purpose? And I have never been the proponent of saying, follow these 3 steps and you will find your purpose. Action leads to clarity. But I didn't know that this was the person I was supposed to be. I didn't know that this was my purpose until I started doing and doing and doing. And I think it's in the process of doing, AKA progress, that we find our purpose, that we find profitability, and we find a way to connect with people around us to empower them to stand in their purpose.
So when did you first start with social media? Like how did you get into social media? What was the first social media outlet that you started plugging into? How did that all begin?
So I started my business. I became a photographer and I didn't own a camera. I said I want to be a photographer. I didn't own a camera, which is crazy. But this is why I'm a firm believer that like when people actually say the thing that they want to do, regardless of how crazy it sounds, I'm going to be the first person to co-sign, because if you want it bad enough, the world is your oyster. Let's have like a full circle moment. Let's go back. Like this is America. Like if you are listening in Canada or America, there's no reason you cannot at this very moment do the thing you want to do, regardless if you're profitable at the outset. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what do you want to do? Go and do that. You have no reason not to. You are fully insulated by us, by simple proximity of where we live. Like that alone, you're already 10 steps ahead of the game. So I said I wanted to be a photographer. I don't have a camera. I get a camera as a Christmas gift from my husband. Very simple. We have no money, but he's just like, I believe that this is a thing that you want to do, so go out and do it. And I started my business in 2007, and by 2009 I was voted one of the top photographers in the world. We'd built a wildly successful business. My husband transitioned into the business with me, and it was roughly around 2009, 2010 that social media was really taking off. This is when Twitter was around, this is when Facebook was around. And what I realized, that as a girl from the hood who built a business literally from nothing, you look around and say, what are the free resources that I can do to get people talking about me? And that my first foray was in that Twitter, Facebook kind of era. And I was terrible at it. There's a difference between being on social media and using social media.
Right,
and at the time, I was just on it. Like, I had an account and I would make statements. Like, I would take a picture of my lunch and put, can't wait to eat, nom, nom, nom. It's like Christmas is here. Like, I like taking photos. And it's like, that's not building a brand. That's just like a status update, letting people know what you're doing, and you're not leaving room open for engagement. Around 2016, I jumped on YouTube around 2012, and then Instagram 2014. So again, you're just following the iteration. Whatever free resource came out, like, that's what I'm doing. Do I have any business making videos? No. Like, I had no background. I had no lighting. I had no editing skills. I just turned on a camera and I just made a video and I put it on YouTube. And then every time I pursued something and I stayed dedicated to it, regardless if I was good, bad, or ugly about it, it ended up growing my business in exponential ways. But it wasn't until 2016 where I said, okay, I'm kind of sort of using it. I'm on it. Like, I'll make a video, I'll post a photo, but I saw businesses using social media with a strategy. And that's when I realized I need to take a step back and understand what I need to do to up level my business. Like, what do I need to do to move into a 7-figure lifestyle business? Like, what do I need to do? And that was to really understand that using social media means that you know who you're talking to, you have your plan, you're there with intention, you're there with consistency, and you're not above the one-to-one connection. That radically changed my perspective of social in 2016. And here we are a few years later, and has just grown to hundreds of thousands of followers, because what I teach myself, I then teach others. And that has been a game changer.
Well, I mean, it is funny though to think like that's kind of how we all started. I probably started on Facebook in 2012, and I didn't know what I was doing. Matter of fact, my wife signed up for me because I thought it was stupid. I thought it was stupid. There was no way. Like, what do I need to do that? I'm a businessman. Financial services. I do my deal. I wanted nothing. Even when texting came out. When texting came out, I thought it was stupid. The first, 6 months of texting. I remember making fun of this lady in my business that she was texting all the time. And I'm like, I used to make fun of her, like going like, who am I? And I would make fun. It was like, looking back, all these different things that have come in have all been just signs of where the world's going. Mm-hmm. And I think, for me, luckily for me, I kind of figured things out pretty quickly on a couple of different levels and started getting on the bandwagon for some things, a little bit quicker. But so many people, don't you feel that, like, so many people they're just waiting and waiting and waiting and not getting mentorship? Like, for example, you teach people how to use social media. So why would if somebody wants to get great at something, why wouldn't somebody come to you and say, hey, help me? What do I got to do? Tell me what I got to do. I want to get better using you. I mean, why do you think people hesitate to do that kind of stuff?
I believe that, and I didn't make this up, her name is Dr. Carol Dweck. She has categorized people as fixed mindset and growth mindset. And there are some of us who are just born with a growth mindset, where you look at any situation, regardless if it's good, hard, easy, bad, ugly, and you say, oh, I have an opportunity here. And there are some people with a fixed mindset who look at, this is my box, this is only what I can do, I can't do any more. Or, I will never be as good as that person, so why bother, why try? And this goes into a total life approach, like how you approach child raising, how you child rearing, how you approach social media, how you approach your business. And the good news, which she outlines in her book, is that even if you are hardwired with a limited mindset, a fixed mindset, you can train yourself to have a growth mindset. And I feel like I have just been in the perfect situation because I was born and programmed with a fixed mindset. I didn't learn how to read until I was 11, so I thought I was dumb. grew up obese till I was about 13, 14. So I just thought I'm going to be overweight for the rest of my life. I put myself in these boxes and then told myself the same thought so many times that my thought became a belief. And what I realized that I got into my 20s, that if I start telling myself different thoughts, that I have the capacity to make better decisions about what I eat, that I have the capacity to literally learn anything I want to know on the free internet. That if I stopped giving myself excuses and started finding reasons for my success, then it would become an alignment. And so now I taught myself, I see, I'm like, hey, I spot other people who just say, I won't invest, I won't buy, I won't learn because I'll never be good at Instagram. I'll never know how to grow a tribe on Facebook. Well, if you keep on saying that, then you won't. But if you stop saying, I won't be able to do that, and you say, and you ask yourself, how will I be able to do that? Then the world is completely open to you. So why don't people come and say, hey, what can I learn from her by all of her free content on social media? They just have to tell themselves, even though it's hard or uncomfortable for me now, the more I do it, the easier it gets.
Thank you for watching our short clips on Alonzo Academy. If you'd like to watch the next short clip, click here. If you'd like to watch the entire podcast, click here.